Hello, my name is Lyle. Today I'm going to talk to you about how bitter melon can fit in very nicely into a Mediterranean diet. It's a powerful nutraceutical. There's research showing it fights cancer. There's research showing that it lowers your blood sugar and may help with diabetes. And it's really nutrient dense. It's really high vitamin C, high folic acid, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, zinc. Generally, it has more vitamins and minerals in it than anything else in the melon and cucumber and squash family of plants. It works beautifully in the Mediterranean food pyramid, which is based mainly on colorful fruits and vegetables. Nuts, whole grains, and legumes are the basis of the Mediterranean diet and fits in very well into that. And this kind of nutrient density is what you would expect for the vegetables that tend to go into a Mediterranean diet, which are very colorful, full of polyphenols, full of flavonoids, antioxidants, and together and synergistically give a huge health boost working together, especially when mixed in different dishes. And I think even though bitter melon is, a classic Asian vegetable, it has so many properties that would match well. Not just the nutrient density, but it is bitter, but it's a unique bitterness that can, especially when mixed with oils, particularly like olive oil, it can actually be very enjoyable. So I'm going to show you a recipe that matches very well with the Mediterranean diet. It's completely based on the Mediterranean diet. But it is actually a traditional recipe of the Philippines, modified just a little bit. So we're going to start. I already chopped this ahead of time. This is garlic and onions. I'm just going to saute this in a pan with olive oil. Now in this case, I have less expensive olive oil from Costco, which I'm going to use for just cooking this. It's still extra virgin olive oil, but I also have this more expensive oil, which I only use this. I never cook with it because cooking reduces the polyphenol content of olive oil. I like to drizzle this on fresh, but this has a really strong, pungent, herby flavor to it. It adds a lot of flavor, and you don't want to lose those polyphenols through cooking. So I always drizzle this on fresh. But to cook this dish, I'm going to use this olive oil. And olive oil, of course, is central to the Mediterranean diet. It is the only cooking oil that is used in the Mediterranean diet, and it's central to its health benefits. So I'm just going to pour some of this oil over here. It's going to turn that on low. And so this garlic and onion, I'm going to go ahead and saute this. It'll take a while. So while that's beginning to cook, I'm going to take this scrambled egg. There's 2 eggs in here that I scrambled. And I'm going to add the bitter melon that I grew in my greenhouse. This bitter melon's not exactly perfect. This one's a little bit overripe. It's kind of a little bit orange on the end. And this one's a little bit wilted, but they'll be all right. So we don't eat the seeds. The seeds are inedible and too hard to eat. So I'm just going to pull that out by hand. So I just pulled out the seeds out of that. So that's the bitter melon that's been cleaned up a little bit. So this is our chopped up bitter melon. Kind of bigger slices is typically how it's made in egg. Just going to add this to the egg. So this is basically a kind of sort of an omelet. So I'm going to saute the onion and garlic ahead of time in the olive oil, scramble some eggs, add the coarsely chopped bitter melon to the eggs, and I'm going to add some tomato as well. These are the only tomatoes I have available. I usually use a bigger tomato, but this is what I have. So these are little cherry tomatoes. They'll work fine. So here's our tomato, bitter melon, and eggs, and I could just mix this up a little bit. So one of the things about Mediterranean cooking is that the antioxidants mix with the oil and mix with each other and tend to be sort of a synergistic effect of different health benefiting compounds. So you have lycopene in the tomatoes, different saponins in the bitter melon. The onions have quercetin, flavonoids, and there's way beyond those. And so by doing the garlic, the onion, the bitter melon, tomato mixed with egg, it's a complete combination that complements each other and gives the maximum health benefit. So I'm just going to add this mixture of egg, bitter melon, and tomato. Let's mix that up. Cooks pretty rapidly. The egg doesn't take that long to cook, but I'm going to let it cook a little longer, even though the egg is cooking pretty fast. I think I might add a little bit more olive oil. Oh, and I forgot, you need to add a little salt. I use new salt, which to me it tastes just as good as regular salt, but some people don't like the taste. It's potassium chloride, which is very healthy. I don't notice a difference myself. It seems like salt to me. So I'm just going to add some of that for flavor. Might add just a dash of pepper. Here's some pepper. Might just add just a little bit of this. So here's the final product. This dish is a fusion between Asian and Mediterranean. It has sort of a sofrito base. Sofrito is a type of sauce where you cook up onions, garlic, and tomato in a pan with olive oil, and it really is based on that. You know, the Mediterranean diet, the basis of the Mediterranean diet is colorful fruits, colorful vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts. This is the basis of the Mediterranean diet, and this fits in perfectly with that, and it tastes amazing. The mildly bitter flavor mixes well with the sort of the protein flavor of the eggs, the oil, the olive oil. It works wonderfully. So there it is, a wonderful dish that you should be adding to your Mediterranean diet. Thank you and good night.